Hi folks, and welcome back to the Kellys Theos. Great feedback from you guys last time when we looked at the frame material, but it's time now to dive into the detail of this mighty fine bike from Slovakia. Okay, now just to recap, what actually sets this bike apart from the opposition is that thermoplastic steel carbon composite frame, and of course the production process. But this bike is actually much more than that. Let's start then with some of the detailing on this bike. I mean, look at the protection in that chainstay there. It really is well thought out. You've got the tilted EP8 motor, which keeps the motor out of trouble. A fantastically low standover height of the bike, which means you can move around really easily. You've got the offset shock there. And just in general, the look of this bike, it really is pretty stunning. Kellys Theos F Series is the world's first e-bike made of a completely new material, thermoplastic hybrid steel carbon composite, aka Feather. Now, the unique properties of this material, combined with the latest technology from Kellys, is said to have led to the creation of a next-generation high-end e-bike. It cannot have come easily, and it is said that the Theos F Series frame is one of the most complex and challenging products ever been made out of thermoplastic hybrid steel carbon composite, or probably from thermoplastic carbon composite in general so far. However, that is very much the press release, and you guys will have heard that many times before. In fact, Kellys have actually supplied us with this bike. So time now then to get into the whys and the whatevers, the fine detail, beginning with the shape and purpose of this bike. You know what, it's actually quite funny because in as much as Kellys are very keen to tell us about the material and the process, they're actually quite shy to tell us about the nature of this bike. Now, this is the Kellys Theos F Series, F90, 170mm travel front and rear. I mean, folks, let's not mess around here. This is a big hitting, all-action enduro bike with all the trimmings. And the shape of it, the componentry, is very much built for the job in hand, which is, I guess you're asking, well, to go like f***. Ooh, such a reassuring thud to this bike. And that is actually what it feels like out on the trails. It is a quiet bike, it's a fast bike. There is a mighty Shimano EP8 motor on this bike, which is tilted upwards to keep itself out of trouble, like I mentioned earlier. And the battery is a collaboration between Kellys and BMZ. And guess what? We have got 725 watt hours in this bike, giving it a monumental range. The fine detail is a Shimano E7000 head unit and a controller button there, and also a very discreet port for your charging on the down tube. Angular, and it definitely looks fast as hell. A Kashima Fox 38 up front, 170mm travel, and a RockShox Super Deluxe Ultimate on the rear. Now, you could argue that bikes of this travel with those suspension units might actually mask defects in the suspension design. Thankfully, Kellys have said they've got it bang on with this bike, with a bike that has got good support, good bottom out, and giving you a lively ride. Because let's face it, get those things wrong and you will get a bike which is sluggish and has no pop. And you need the pop. Yay, let's draw your attention to some of the finer details of this bike. Up front, we have got a Schwalbe tyre. On the back is a speed grip tyre. Wheels, 29, 27.5, very much of the moment. DT Swiss H1700. Now that is a wheel set which is built for trouble. 203mm rotors, obviously, and the mighty fine Shimano XT brakes. Raceface bar and stem, we've got a Fox transfer seat post and a Physique saddle on there. Shimano Di2 electronic shifting. Whoa, very neat. But that's all very well and good, folks. The thing that makes this bike special is the frame. Now, as I mentioned earlier, it is made out of micro steel fibers which are bonded by a thermoplastic polymer. Now that contrasts with most of the traditional carbon fibre frame manufacture, whereby you will have sheets of pre-preg. Now pre-preg is pretty much sheets of carbon fibre which are impregnated with resin. And what happens is you'll have like a kit of different pieces of the bike, probably hundreds in one frame. A person will put those into a mould. It's all done by hand. So that is then popped into the oven and everything synthesizes to become one. With this bike, we have the thermoplastic polymer frame, which is also cut into sheets, but is done by robot. And the big difference here is that that frame is then pressed into shape with a combination of heat and that materials. What that leads to is a frame with arguably less deformities than one that is made by a human being. That's what Kellys say. But what about the properties of this feather material? Why is it so good for us? Well, let's start with durability. Now, these tiny steel fibers are said to distribute forces more evenly and over a larger area in the event of a crash. For example, in this picture here, where you will see that this material does prevent delamination or cracks, like you might see frequently with traditional carbon fibre bikes. Now, Kellys actually say they want to revolutionise the mountain bike market with this steel carbon composite. The frame is actually made in Europe, in Belgium, by a company called Reinforced, who are partners with Kellys. And I think three key things which we need to understand here is that it's less labour intensive, it's good for the environment because you can recycle the whole frame, and also the fact that the weight of this bike is the same as a traditional carbon fibre bike. Okay, so let's talk about the range of sizes. Now, the medium, Kellys say, is for riders from 165 to 180 centimetres, and the large, which is what we have here, from riders 180 to 195. Now, that bike, as I said, in size large, fits me absolutely perfectly. And you know what? I'm thinking, maybe we don't actually need this massive range of sizes that the mountain bike industry presents us, because after all, my wife actually rides the XL bikes that I ride. So yeah, food for thought there, I think. And the price for this top-end bike, €8,500. Time now, folks, to move on to the geometry. We've got a 76-degree C-tube angle, and also the chainstay at 459mm makes it great at both descending and climbing. Oh yes, let's not mess around. It's not built for mucking about. It is built for speed and badness. Now, if you're after something for some slightly mellower riding, then maybe go for the F50 series bikes. However, they'll probably climb at the same speed, but on flatter trails might well be slightly more nimble. But I haven't ridden one, so it's just a guess. And that wraps up, folks. A bike that looks fast, feels fast, and actually is fast when out on the trail. But let's know what you guys think about this all-new microsteel carbon composite material called Feather from the collab between Kellys and Reinforced out in Belgium. I think it's really, really exciting. The bike looks totally amazing. And yeah, can't wait to ride it a bit more. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to EMBN to get more e-mountain bike content. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video and this bike, and we'll see you out on the trail next time. Bye-bye.